Hello there. I am your Demon King of Heretics, Ahriman le Méchant, and I am terribly sorry about the delay. Before we start the game, I wanna talk about a few things. So, yeah, as you might know, let's see, what was it? What day was that? Let me check the calendar real quick, because I know it was a day. On Friday, Friday, this Friday? Yeah, Friday, I was in a crash, and my car got totaled, and at first I thought I wasn't in pain, but I am in incredible amounts of pain, so I'm sorry if I seem a little bit low energy today. No. And as soon as I got out of bed, I was like, oh my back, because, well, yeah, I got forced into the seat by an airbag, so of course I'm gonna be a little bit sore. I just wanted that out in the open for you guys to know. It's fine. I'm fine. I think the other people are fine too. We are looking into getting a new car, so things are a little bit hectic for now, but I'm doing my best. I'm gonna do my best to juggle that and this, so you guys don't need to worry, okay? Alright. So let's get right into it, okay? Please be happy. I am pressing any button. I am pressing... Oh. No voice, huh?
Oh, you didn't finish this one!
It's the kid. Ow. Yeah, it also seems like it hurts when I laugh too. So yeah, last time we left off, Aspen confessed her love to us, and we have to make the decision whether or not to return it. And I told a couple of my friends, like when the stream ended, what I was gonna decide. So yeah, I've decided I don't think I can do it.
I don't think I can do it.
Yep.
I like Aspen, and I don't want to hurt her. But she's a human, and I just don't think I can do that to myself.
The words are heavy and hard to say, but it's a relief to say them. Juliet reaches her hand across the table and places it over mine.
I understand. I'm sure Aspen will too.
You don't think she'll be mad at me, do you? Or upset? She said she wouldn't, but...
Oh, heavens no. I'm sure she'll be sad. It would be wrong of me to tell you otherwise.
Yeah, no, that's the hard thing, you know? Even if somebody loves you, it's not actually guaranteed that you'll love them back. It's hard to have that sort of feeling, but it's a feeling that people usually have, and it's something I'm familiar with, at least.
But I also know that she wouldn't want it to affect the relationship you do have.
That too. That's very true.
I'm sure she's prepared herself for this possibility and made her peace with it. The only way I can see her regretting her actions is if they somehow sullied your friendship.
No, no way! At least, I hope not. I don't like her any less. I just can't like her more than I already do. Not in the way she does.
I know what you mean. The heart wants what it wants. To try and go against our own feelings is folly. We only end up creating pain for ourselves and others. That's why Aspen chose to share her feelings with you, even knowing they may not be returned. And why it's important to be honest with yourself, even about the things that may be difficult, as you've reminded me, time and again.
I feel Juliet's hand slide off of mine as she stands and walks to the window, opening the blinds. Outside, it's that in-between time of evening, where the sun has already set but the sky hasn't become totally dark yet. Though Juliet has no reflection, I can see myself in the window, watching her. I wonder if she notices too. My hand tingles where hers covered it just a moment ago.
Have you ever been in love before?
Turning to face me, Juliet has an expression I can't read before replacing it with a fond smile.
There were several times that I thought I was, but later realized otherwise. All of them were before Cassette was born, when I was much more wild.
I hope we get to see a little peek of that.
I mistook the desires of the body and mind for the desires of the heart.
Ah,
What I had thought was love was really just an attempt to fill something missing, to fool myself into believing it was real. Raising Cassette forced me to be honest with myself for the first time in ages. Perhaps ever. I had never truly cared about anyone other than myself. I just didn't know it until then. For her entire life, I devoted my heart to Cassette, ensuring she had all the genuine love and support that she needed and deserved. Even when she grew up and moved out of our home together, not a day or even an hour went by that she wasn't in my thoughts. Since she passed away, I haven't allowed myself to grow close to anyone else. I couldn't ever again settle for a relationship that I didn't feel with my whole heart.
her eyes meet mine, lingering for a moment before Juliet turns her attention back to her teacup, taking a sip. She closes her eyes and sighs with contentment.
I've made do with smaller pleasures. Hot tea, a good book, the company of friends. It's been enough, ever since then.
I know what you mean. I've only had smaller pleasures too.
Much like Juliet, it never occurred to me to want more. A warm place to sleep and a meal that I didn't scavenge were more than luxurious. For a long, long time, I've been satisfied with what little I had, and couldn't hope for anything else. So I thought. I swish around my cup of hot chocolate, which isn't quite so hot anymore. I don't know how Juliet makes it, but I know it doesn't just come from mixing some water and powder. It's something she makes special every time, just because she knows I like it. Has anyone else ever done something like that for me? Not that I can remember.
Not looking forward to telling Aspen tomorrow.
Speak for yourself, Mio.
I know. I'm sure it can't be easy.
Like always, she handles my abrupt chocolate changes without comment.
All I can suggest is to speak from your heart, just like she did. Though it may take her a while, in time, I know that she'll be okay. The best thing you could do is to treat her normally, as if nothing has changed between the two of you.
Right. She's still Aspen.
Exactly. And you're still friends. Nothing can take that away.
I nod, feeling a little better. Juliet and I chat a bit more before eventually I excuse myself and head up to my room for the night. Before I get into bed, I already know it's going to be one of those nights where I toss and turn for hours before being able to pass out. No matter what, I'm not looking forward to letting Aspen down tomorrow. All I can do is hope she understands, like Juliet said, even if it's not what she wants to hear. I'll make sure to not let it change anything between us. Neither of us would want that. Sure enough, it takes a while, but eventually my restlessness turns into exhaustion, and I slip into a fretful sleep. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I do not envy you, Miho. Morning comes all too soon. Groggily opening my eyes, I check the time and see that I've slept in about as late as I can. I spend a while trying to fall back asleep, but fail and eventually get up. There are only a couple hours until Aspen will be back. I'm sure she'll go back to her apartment first after she arrives, but we'll have to come up to the library not long after that, so we can see each other before the day's passed. Once she's here, I don't see a way to put off talking about that. It'll be better for both of us to just get it over with, I'm sure.
Alright, Miho. You can do this.
You can do this, Miho. Come on. You got this. Staring into the bathroom mirror, I try to believe myself. I know what Juliet said is all true about our friendship not having to change or there being any bad feelings. I'm just not looking forward to telling Aspen in the first place. It won't be the first time that I've hurt Aspen somehow, but it's the first time where I've planned it out in advance and known that it's going to happen. Still, I know that fixating on it and dreading it will just make me feel worse. After moping around for a bit longer, I head down to the kitchen.
Good morning, Miho.
Good morning, Juliet.
Morning.
Hi, Mega Gaming. How's it going? Are you having a good morning? Or a good afternoon or a good evening? We're just playing Please Be Happy. And we're gonna have to turn down one of the girls. At least Juliet seems to be in a good mood. I try to make myself sound chipper too. Even though it's just the two of us today, Juliet worked as hard as always on breakfast. There's the usual assortment of fruit, eggs, and toast, all laid out on the table.
Thanks for the food.
Of course. Do dig in.
I'd love to eat Juliet's food. It sounds good. Okay, that's good. Good. I'm doing better, honestly. My back is killing me, and I'm a little worried, but otherwise I'm doing fine. I think everything's getting a little bit better, little by little. Though, before I went to sleep yesterday, I thought, oh man, I feel a lot better, not knowing that I had about 10 pounds of painkillers in me and like a hot and cold patch, or icy hot patch, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I had one of those on, and I was like, yeah, I can do this. I'm not in pain. I can do this. I'm in pain. Ow, ow. Yeah, it kind of hurts when I laugh, but I'm doing okay.
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, Miho has the right idea. I want to eat Juliet's food. I eat my meal with about as much gusto as I can, although I'm much slower than usual. Juliet went through all the effort to prepare everything, so I don't want to let it go to waste. Yeah. Eventually, I have to admit defeat and set down my fork with a lot of food unfinished. Hey, Mio, give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Everything okay?
Oh, you know, the usual.
Yeah, it's all great. I'm just not super hungry right now.
Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. You kind of just get used to not having pain, and then, bam! You wake up and, oh boy, you can't move. Yeah. Okay, taking a breath just now, just popped my back. I don't know how to feel about that. I could just hear it in the back of my head, just... Anyways, let's at least get to turning turning down Aspen.
Oh, yes. Understandable. I'm sorry. I should have asked before preparing so much.
I mean, have some yourself. It's fine. You can have some of our food. If you're not gonna give me it, come on, give me it. I want it. Come on, Juliet, give me it. Gimme.
It's fine. Thanks for cooking. I'm sorry I can't eat more of it.
Don't worry. As long as you enjoyed it, I certainly can't complain.
I'm just imagining Miho in front of a table with a bunch of pancakes on it, just looking mortified.
I sure did. It Doesn't look like you're all that hungry either, though.
Thankfully you've played this route, so no spoilers for me. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, you're already ready. I'm not. I have no... I intentionally went into this game as blind as possible. I have not even watched the... You know how vtuber released that original song, like, on the release for this game, right? I have actually not seen it yet. I have not heard it or seen it. All for the moment. All for this moment here. Like, I'll watch it. I'll watch it after I finish this route, and until I see the credit screen, I am not watching it. I've stood strong since November. I can continue. I can do this, even though it's getting harder and harder by the day.
Me? What makes you say that?
I pointed at the half-eaten bread on her plate.
You had even less than I did.
Aw, did they accidentally prepare a third serving for Aspen? Aw. You went in fully blind too? Yeah, this game is really good so far. It's torture just playing it once. It's torture just playing it once a week. You know, I don't have a... I usually binge visual novels like this. Like, at this rate, I could have finished this in like an hour if I didn't read. I mean, like, I don't usually read it like out loud, and I can just go whoosh, and yeah.
Well, I suppose you're right. To tell you the truth, most food tastes the same to me, essentially flavorless. I enjoy the ceremony of sharing a meal with friends much more than the meal itself.
How did you get so good at cooking then? Yeah, no, immediately after I finish, like, this route for the stream, I'm going to Aspen's route because she's adorable. She's a treasure. I love her. But, oh, I did not know that. Now that I think about it, thinking about vampires and stuff, it does make sense that food would not really have much flavor to her, but how'd she get so good at cooking then? That's amazing.
You can't taste anything? Why
not? Oh, you poor thing. You poor thing. Yeah, no, I think, God, I gotta be honest, my first, like, VN-ish experience had to be Doki Doki Literature Club, so that kind oh, I could go on and on about that game and how you used to just go into the code, change little things, because it encourages you to do that. It's so fun. I love it. But Nekopara, oh boy, I have that downloaded for my Switch, and I still need to play it. I still need to, like, read through it.
It's another one of the downsides of vampirism. I can still eat and drink if I want to, but I don't need to.
Yeah.
Even tea?
Even tea, to an extent. Although I can't enjoy the flavor, I do still enjoy its aroma. And that was one of my favorite parts about tea, even as a human.
Wait, which one? It was so popular. I'm sure it was many people's first times. Yeah, no, it really took the internet by storm somehow. I remember playing it back when I was in university, and whew. Oh, yeah, I could see why it got hyped a little bit. Oh god. But that's right. Juliet was once human. That's how she got good at cooking. I forgot that.
Whoa. You're really good at cooking for not being able to try it.
Miho, we have the... Okay. See, me and Miho have the same brain cell somehow. I'm very impressed. I'm almost a little scared that Studio Elan has like a little psychic spy in my head, just transmitting messages to Miho, being like, "Yeah, how'd she get so good at cooking?" Then she says that, and oh, ow, ow, ow.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Cosette was often my taste tester.
Ah.
Once I found a way of preparing something she enjoyed. It was simply a matter of committing the recipe to memory.
Yes. Miho is best girl. I completely agree. Like, if there was a route we could date ourselves in, I would totally take that. Like, no cap.
She definitely had good taste then. I can't imagine not being able to enjoy food. It used to be one of the only things I enjoyed.
It is quite unfortunate. Had I known what it would be like before I turned, I would have made more of an effort to sample cuisine from around the world while I could.
Ah.
Were there other things that were different for you then?
Oh yes, almost everything. Those faculties that I do retain, such as my eyesight and hearing, are far keener than they were as a human. To say nothing of the ability to transform. I suppose it must be like that for you as well, compared to your days as a fox.
Yeah, that's true. But I can always turn back into a fox when I want to.
Knock on wood, Miho. Don't knock on wood.
You are quite fortunate in that regard. Taking wing as a bat can be exhilarating, but it's not familiar.
Ah.
Do you like being a vampire? Would you go back to being a human if you could?
Probably in a heartbeat, honestly.
That's a difficult question to answer. Even if I were to somehow revert to normal humanity right now, I wouldn't be the same person I was before I became a vampire.
Huh?
That was a lifetime ago. Several, in fact. Who I am now isn't even who I was when I first changed.
I see.
I appreciate the many chances that I've had to learn and grow. Without the gift of immortality, that wouldn't have happened. Nor would I have met any of the people whom I care about most. You, Cosette, Aspen. I'd have died centuries too early for our paths to ever cross. Naturally, I wouldn't trade that for the world, for anything. But I confess that I do miss the simplicity of human life.
You know, that's sort of the thing that media sometimes misses about immortality. Like, yeah, it's a curse. Yeah, you're gonna see loved ones die around you, but you do get so many chances to experience things that you wouldn't have had you died. It's a mixed blessing, to say the least.
The very things that Aspen fears most are some of what I most regret leaving behind. A temporary existence pushes you to achieve all that you can within the time given to you. Your triumphs and victories are sweeter, just as tragedy may be deeper, with their impermanent finality. I suppose I would have to say that it's equal parts blessing and curse.
She has the right idea. She has the right idea. Yeah, no, it really is a mixed bag. Like, character-wise. Nah, I'll leave it for later. But yeah, no. You'd be able to meet so many people, but you'd also watch so many people die. It would all even out in the end, wouldn't it? Like, you'd eventually grow numb to all that. I think the worst part about immortality wouldn't be watching the people you love die, and everyone after that dying, it would be becoming numb to that. That's the single worst thing I could imagine happening for somebody that was immortal.
Presented with the choice to somehow go back and stop myself from being turned, I would decline. There are truths that can only be learned with experience and age. So, in that sense, perhaps it would be futile, even if it were possible.
With a sigh, she gives me a sheepish smile.
That was rather long-winded of me, wasn't it? To answer your question more directly, no, I wouldn't go back. There's a part of me that will always want to, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I've just not consumed enough media about immortality, but I feel like that's an aspect that if explored, would be really, really fun too. Yeah, you agree. It's awful. It really is awful.
I get it. Sounds like there are even more differences between Fable like us and humans than I thought.
Oh, now that there's somebody here who's played the game, what do you think about Fabled? Do you think they're fairies? Do you think Fabled are fairies? Do they count as fae? I was curious about that ever since I started playing this game. Ow, ow, ow,
In some ways, yes.
Nodding, I idly push around some of the leftover food on my plate with a fork. Hey, don't play with your food, Miho. Give it to me. It went cold a long time ago. Even so.
Thanks for saying all that. It makes me feel better about, you know, like I'm making the right decision.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad that I could be of some help.
I wish I could delay having the conversation with Aspen, but there's only a couple more hours until I would have to see her anyways. At least long enough for her to not forget me. That's right. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Aspen. She took a late bus there and an early bus back just for that, meaning her visit with her family hardly lasted any time at all. I feel a twinge of guilt because Aspen basically has to plan her life around seeing me, even though there's nothing I can do about that. I don't think I'd call them fairies. I just kind of took the fable at face value. You know what? Fair enough. It's official. Fabled are not fairies. They have the Ahriman seal of approval. Rising to my feet, I gather up both my dishes and Juliet's and take them to the sink, dumping the leftovers in the trash on my way.
Thank you, Miho.
No problem. Are you going to bed?
Indeed. Unless you'd prefer for me to wait with you.
I wouldn't mind, but it's okay. You don't have to stay up for my sake. I'm probably just going to watch TV or something until she gets
No. You gotta go meet her at the station, Miho. Go.
If you're sure. As always, you're welcome to wake me should the need arise.
No.
If you're actually asleep next time. You were already awake when I knocked yesterday.
True. Although that was something of an anomaly. Still, whether I'm awake or not, don't hesitate if you need anything.
Will do. Night!
Have a good day, Miho. I'll see you this evening.
I finish cleaning up as Juliet heads to her room. After wiping my hands dry, I flick off the lights and then go to my own room. The TV crackles to life when I switch it on, and I take my usual spot on the floor with my back against the bed. Flipping from channel to channel, I look for a cartoon or something that I can watch without having to think too hard about it. Preferably something without a romantic subplot, as hard as that is to find. It's not that I mind those most of the time, but right now I'm not in the mood. Yeah, that's a mood. I end up settling for an animated movie about a girl who can turn into a seal, and her brother's quest to rescue her. if it turns into... As I'd hoped, watching shows does take my mind off of things. It also makes time pass by way too fast. At some point, when I check the clock, I see that it's almost time for Aspen's bus to arrive. The stomach-cramping feeling of anxiety starts to kick in. I take some deep breaths and drink a glass of water to stifle it.
It's no big deal, you dummy. You're just making this worse for yourself. She'll be sad, but she'll get over it.
She will. She will. She will. Asterisk. Around the time that the bus should be pulling into the station, I go downstairs to wait. My practice books for reading and writing are tucked away at the front desk, where I retrieve them and sit down. My eyes go over the same line a dozen times without really processing what I'm seeing. It's frustrating because it's not like my thoughts are occupied with something more important. Instead, it's like an alarm bell ringing in my head, an unhelpful reminder that I'm not looking forward to what's going to happen, without contributing anything useful. I grit my teeth and try to power through it, forcing my hands and eyes to cooperate. I manage to slowly make my way through the worksheet in front of me, but not without glancing at the front door every couple of minutes. When I finish, I'm not sure I actually got anything out of it. With every minute that ticks by, I get a little antsier. I wait, and wait, and wait. 45 minutes after her bus should have arrived, I get up and pour myself another glass of water, just to do something.
She sure is taking her time.
Oh god. No. I should probably be more patient. It's a long walk from her apartment to here, and she probably wanted to freshen up after the long ride. Sighing, I take my seat, spinning circles in the chair. A minute later, I stand up again and pace around, browsing the books on the library shelves as if I'm interested in them at all. Before I know it, an hour has passed since I came downstairs, since Aspen got back to Wellington. I head back to the desk and pull out another writing worksheet. With a couple weeks of practice behind me now, I can write almost all the letters from memory, just not very legibly. Yeah, no, I don't know if I've ever shown off my handwriting, but oh god. I'd probably be the same as Miho, honestly. It takes all my concentration, but when I get to the end of this one, I'm pretty proud of the results. Somehow, it took me almost 15 minutes to get through both sides. That explains why my hand is so sore. But it doesn't explain why Aspen's still not here.
Maybe I should go find
her. Go find her. She'll probably be following the same path we took to get to the station yesterday. It goes right by her home, after all. It's early enough that if I hurry, I could get to the station and back with time to spare, in case she does take a different route, and get to the library while I'm gone. Plus, I could write her a note. I grab one of the pads of sticky notes that Juliet keeps at the desk, gripping my pencil so tightly that it hurts. But I need to be as precise as I can, or else Aspen won't be able to read it. Aspen, went to station and your house. Took route you showed me. We'll come back here. Oh. Ow. One of my favorite things for this game. I can't read or write. What job should I get? A librarian. That's exactly how it went. Ow. That is exactly that is almost word for word what I thought when Miho took this job. It's not the best, but it should work. Also, props to Miho for being able to write that note. She grew up so fast, dude. I wish I was calm enough to be proud. Instead, I just grab a piece of tape and stick the note to the front door as I hurry out. Moving at a brisk pace, I scan both sides of every street as I go, and check every window and open door I can to make sure I don't miss her. I make it to Aspen's apartment and knock loudly, rocking on my heels while I wait. The door never opens. I try to peek in her window, but the blinds are shut and the curtains are drawn. Still, it doesn't look like there are any lights on inside. My worry starts to morph into panic. It's possible she already came home, dropped off her bags, turned the lights back off, and left. But then, why didn't I pass her on the way? Just to be sure, I hurried the rest of the short trip to the station, but don't see any trace of Aspen. Flat out running instead of jogging, I rushed back the way I came, but instead on staying on that one route, I also tried side streets, weaving back and forth between the main path and the others. None of them have her, and I reached the library breathless and alone. My note's still where I left it. I pushed the door open, hoping against hope that she's waiting up for me inside. She isn't, but Juliet's there, standing behind the front desk.
Oh, Miho. I was wondering where you'd gone. I saw these sheets that you left out.
Aspen still isn't back yet.
I can't hold back from blurting out the bad news. There's no time to waste. Juliet's eyes instantly go wide with alarm, and her mouth drops open in shock for a brief second before she composes herself.
I see. Wait here. I'll try to call her.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm actually getting a little bit anxious. Oh boy. While she rushes off, I push the door back open and scan the horizon, looking for the glint of Aspen's glasses in the sun, or her hat bouncing as she walks. Nothing. Juliet returns with a phone in her hands, where it looks weirdly out of place. She calls Aspen and then puts it on speaker, and we both wait with bated breath.
Hello, you've reached Aspen. If you're a publishing agent or editor, then please...
Juliet cuts off the voicemail message just like I cut her off a moment ago.
I didn't even hear it ring.
It didn't. That means that for whatever reason, she can't receive calls right now.
Oh, what's going on? Is it that thing?
Whatever reason? Like what?
Most likely, her phone is dead. Or she's somewhere without reception.
I see Juliet's face fall as we both make the same connection. Yeah, no, I don't talk about it enough, but the people who did the music for this, they're doing a good job. They're doing a good job at making us feel like this. They're doing a good job.
Yesterday, before we left here.
Yes. She mentioned that she wouldn't have it for most of the journey. But she should have been back in Wellington a long time ago, correct?
Yeah, at least 2 hours ago.
How much longer do you have left?
About an hour.
Oh God. My voice cracks as I say it.
Just under.
That's even worse. My mouth is dry. I try to swallow the lump in my throat, but it won't go away. She even came home early to give us extra time. Time that was supposed to be just in case, not actually needed.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I was hoping you would know.
Me? I see. Let me think.
I could just wait here at the library, where she's bound to turn up eventually. I'm sure she's watching the clock as closely as I am. Wherever she is. On the other hand, I could go out and look for her again. I can move faster than she can. If she's running late, then the time saved by going to where she is could make all the difference.
Okay. Here.
I look up at Juliet, hoping she has the solution.
Take my phone. Go try to find her. Make sure you can get back here in time. If she arrives before you find her, we'll call you.
Okay.
Juliet quickly shows me how to use the phone, and I pocket it, making sure that it won't fall out. Her plan just combined both of mine. It's a good compromise, but it still comes down to luck. I guess there's no way around that. Not every problem has a perfect solution. There's nothing else to say, and less time to say it, so I hurry back outside without another word. I've barely gotten my breath back from running all the way to the library, but I force myself to run again. I have to cover as much ground as possible, as fast as possible. I check the bell house, but she's not there. When I get to her apartment, it's just as I left it. Same as the bus station. I turn around, about to start the trip back, when I spot someone waving at me from nearby.
Hey, miss. You okay? I saw you run by here a while ago.
I'm looking for someone. A friend who should have been here by now.
On one of the buses? You sure they weren't on the one that broke down?
Oh, shit!
The what?
Yeah, heard some other folks who were here talking about it. Guess it broke down on the way back and the replacement's taking forever. They were getting pissed because it was going to make them late. I can't tell you which bus it was, but you could probably find out. Where were they coming from?
I don't know the name of the town. It's a few hours away.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Well, that doesn't exactly narrow it down, but it matches up, I think. The guys who are waiting were packed for a long trip, so it must be one of those distance lines.
Thanks.
I stumble as I turn back around, my legs shaking like jelly. There's no way it isn't Aspen's bus. All the details line up so perfectly and terribly. My only wait is to wait here at the station and hope that the replacement arrives in time. Mechanically, I dial Aspen's phone over and over, hanging up and redialing whenever her recorded voice starts to play. At some point, I stop trying. As the minutes tick down, I feel increasingly sick. Oh god, please! Don't do that! Don't do that! That's scary, that's scary. Oh god, I didn't think a simple change in gradient would scare me so much, but it scares me. I feel increasingly sick, with the burning pressure of tears in my eyes. When I do finally hear the rumbling sound of an approaching vehicle, I can barely believe it. Lifting my face from my hands, I watch with my heart in my throat as a bus turns the corner and pulls into the station. This has to be a hurt bus. It has to be. Unable to move, I watch as a line of passengers slowly disembarks. My eyes stay glued to the door until the line finally stops. Then a line of waiting people, including the person who talked to me, begins to board. The bus takes off a minute later, without Aspen. I collapse back onto the bench, barely repressing a sob. Why? Why is this happening? For the final few minutes, I stare at the phone, open to Aspen's info. Along with her phone number, there's a picture of her sitting at the kitchen table. It's a little out of focus, but she's smiling. I look at the picture rather than the time, as the minutes become seconds, and the seconds become nothing. A full 24 hours have passed, and Aspen never returned. Everything I was feeling melts into numbness. It seems like I should feel something. A chill, or ache, or some indication that it's over. I've been forgotten. Of course there isn't one. I've been forgotten a million times before. It just never mattered. Even now it doesn't feel real. Just a few hours ago, I was worrying over Aspen for entirely different reasons. I rise and slowly return to the library. I don't run. I don't look in the windows. I don't try calling. My sticky note is still on the front door when I get back, and I tug it down, stuffing it in my pocket as I trudge inside. Juliet stands up from the desk as I walk in. Alone. I can see her face shift as she realizes. The door slams shut behind me, no one else stepping in.
Oh, Miho. I'm so sorry.
Here's your phone. Thanks for letting me borrow it.
Hey, buddy. Come here. Hi there. Oh, God. Oh, God. I set it down on the desk and then stand there, not sure what to do next.
Perhaps it's not exactly 24 hours. Perhaps there's some leeway and she'll still get here in time.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, don't say that, Juliet. Oh, don't say that, Juliet.
There was a bus that broke down, I guess. It must be hers. Someone at the station told me.
For once, Juliet seems to be at a total loss for words. She just nods stiffly at my explanation. I sit down on one of the chairs near Juliet, staring at the floor. The alarm bell in my head is mercifully silent. Faintly, it occurs to me that this might be what they call shock. We sit there until there's a noise outside the door, catching both my and Juliet's attention. Slowly, the library door opens, and Aspen enters, looking worn out. Her hair is frazzled and it looks like she's been running, or crying, or both. She shuts the door gently behind her. Juliet and I both stand up from the desk at the same time.
Aspen, you're back.
I can't bring myself to say anything, only to stand there and wait, as the feelings of dread and anticipation return. I realize that I've held on to some hope after all.
Yes, I'm back. God, I know I'm late. It was ridiculous. Our bus broke down and the replacement didn't arrive for hours. We weren't even that far from Welly when it happened. Simply unbelievable.
Aspen reaches up to her, adjusts her hat and glasses, and holds up her phone with a smile.
I saw all the missed calls from you once I got back to the station, but it was so late, I thought it would just be easier to come straight here instead. So, sorry to keep you both waiting, Juliet.
Walking past Juliet, Aspen comes to where I'm standing, her eyes glued to the floor. She stops in front of me and slowly looks up. She was definitely crying.
And you must be Miho.
Oh! 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 Oh, ow. Oh, my heart. Oh, my heart. Oh. Oh. Oh, God. And the moment of your heart sinking. Yep. Nope. Immortalized on film. Oh, God. Oh. Oh. Oh, that stings a little. That stings a little. And we're on chapter 4. Woo! Oh. 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 Hey, it's confirmed. It's the Juliet route. Oh. It's twice now that I've lost someone dear to me. Although Aspen is still alive, and I see her every day, her loss feels even more painful than Jonghyun's. No, Jonghyun's. It's been a few days since Aspen lost her memories of me. She's been here like usual every day since then, and we both try to pretend that nothing ever happened. But everyone, including Juliet, knows that it'll never be the same. Whenever Aspen and I talk, I can tell. Whenever I mention something that she can't remember, it stings all over again. That moment was absolutely heartbreaking for me when I played it. Yeah, no, oh, is this... Oh, God, I hope this isn't what it's gonna be like when I play Aspen's route. Oh, because that'll hurt. Oh, God, Oh, God, even if we decide to accept her confession, oh, it's gonna hurt. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh. Even when she's sitting right beside me, Aspen seems further away than ever. I doubt she remembers what she said to me before leaving. She hasn't mentioned it at all, and so neither have I. Not needing to have that difficult conversation was a relief, but not nearly enough to make up for losing everything else. If I could pick one or the other, I'd choose the conversation over Aspen forgetting me every time. I'm sitting in the kitchen in my usual spot, next to where Aspen sits at breakfast, when my ears perk up at Juliet's approach. Oh, yeah, no. Oh, God, God, I'm hoping it's not like that for Juliet. Although she can walk without making a sound, even better than I can, I've developed some sort of sixth sense of her detecting her.
You're up early.
I don't look up from the cup of cold tea that my hands are wrapped around, although it's been at least an hour since I last took a sip.
I think it's later than you imagine. Just past 8.
Oh.
Oops. I must have lost track of time.
I sat down here after closing the library for the day, just intending to collect my thoughts for a couple minutes. I guess it turned out to be more than a couple. Taking a seat across from me, Juliet also has a cup of tea. Hers is still fresh, warm, and steaming.
It's understandable. You surely have a lot on your mind. Anything you'd like to talk about?
You already know everything.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's much we can talk about at this point. Oh, oh God, it hurts. It hurts. Pain is like a 10. Oh, my pain. Oh, that hurts.
Not quite everything. How do you feel?
I stare into the mug, aware that Juliet's looking at me. For some reason, I don't have the strength to meet her eyes.
Sad. Even though I know I shouldn't be.
Oh heavens, why ever would you think that?
Because I knew this was gonna happen someday. Sooner or later. It just turned out to be sooner.
Oh. So New Zealand actually has its own variety of breakfast tea. I'm afraid we can't really get that in America. I don't think. Not unless we pay out the wazoo for import costs. Actually, maybe I should look into that, even though I'm not really a tea person. I'm more of a coffee person. I've actually got a cup of Hortons with me right now, even though I'm not Canadian, either.
What do you mean?
Shrugging, I finally look up. Worry creases Juliet's face, and so I stare at the wall just behind her. I don't want to see someone else feeling bad on my behalf right now.
I mean, it was always going to happen. Aspen was always going to forget me someday. There's no way I could see her every day for the rest of her life, right? That's the other thing, too. She's a human, so eventually she'll...
That bridge should have been way too early to cross. Oh. I trail off, not wanting to say the words out loud, and knowing that Juliet will get what I mean. Sure enough, she nods sagely.
She will.
Wait, so I can't even import it directly to America? It has to go to Canada first? What? That's a little weird. Death used to be such a distant concept for me. Just a boogeyman to be afraid of, but not worry about too much on a daily basis. Now it's become all too real in the case of Jongin. No. I have to remember it's Jongin. Now when it's come to Aspen, it's hard not to think about how that will be your fate too someday. Even if she hadn't forgotten me, and no matter what I might have said in response to her confession, the eventual end would be the same. Oh no, that's just confirmation. Oh, okay. Okay, you're in Canada. Gotcha. Okay, that'd be a little bit weird if you had to, like, import it to Canada and then import it to America. That'd be a little weird. I can't help but picture Juliet's own pain and anguish at Cosette's grave, even after all these years after she passed away.
So if it was gonna happen anyway, then what's the point? Why bother?
That's humanity, Miho. That's humanity.
I'm just going to get hurt again and again. Someday, even you'll also...
Wait, it's like that for Canada? So it has to be imported from some other country to America, then to Canada. Is that how it works? What? I'm oscillating between confused and heartbroken. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. Ooh, maybe not too much longer. And forever is just as difficult with someone else who's immortal. Maybe even harder. No matter how many years may pass, it'll still only take one day for everything to be undone.
Oh, Miho.
She reaches across the table and lays her hand on top of mine, still clutching tightly to my drink. Her fingers are soft and cool, but they look awkward against mine, like she doesn't know what to do with them. I don't know what to do with them either.
I wish I could tell you otherwise. But you're right that some kind of pain is inevitable when it comes to those we love.
Ah. Okay, I get it. No, I get it. Companies usually import to the US just because that's where they're based, like Crunchyroll, and then you import it to Canada. Okay. No, I get it. It's still kind of weird, but I get it.
That's the trade-off for the joy they bring to us while they're with us. The pain exists because we had something to lose. Despite the heartache, I wouldn't trade my time with Cosette for anything.
It's different for me, though. Because I can lose the same person over and over. What about the next time Aspen forgets me? Or if there's a time after that? Maybe it's better to just...
No, it's not. No, it's not. I shake my head and cut myself off, because I know I will really start crying if I go much further. Although Aspen and I have already been rebuilding our friendship, part of me wonders if it's worth it. Do I really want to make myself go through it all again? I know the answer is yes. I'm already doing it, but it's tough to justify it to myself. Sighing deeply, I unwrap my fingers from the cup, sliding my hand out from beneath Juliet's as well. I study her hand, still on the table. Despite her age, her skin remains perfect and unblemished. All her scars must be on the inside instead.
Thanks for listening to me. And sorry for being such a bummer. I'll be back to normal in a day or two.
There's no need to apologize. I can only imagine how you must feel. Take all the time that you need. You don't have to force yourself.
I personally could not live with having people forget about me after I leave their immediate line of sight after a day. That, even if I was immortal, especially if I was immortal, or even just long-lived as Miho is, it's a cruel thought. It really is. Ooh, boy.
Yeah, I know. But thinking about it just makes me feel worse. Besides, Aspen and I are still friends. Or I guess, friends again. I can't change what happened, so I may as well just do the best I can now.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That was somebody putting up a front. That was somebody putting up a front. I am so impressed at how Dotavu did that. That is A plus voice acting right there. I could hear that being forced. Like, I could hear that. I could hear that, and I could feel that, and it makes me sad. And I approve. I approve a lot.
That's true. Still, don't ever hesitate if you need someone to talk to, or a shoulder to cry on.
It would be brutal. You'd have to keep a very tight friend group. Yeah. It's tough because the only friends I have are online, really. They did. Everybody's so good at this. I love it. I love this game. I love games that can hurt me like this. I love it. I love it. I know I complained earlier about having to wait a week after playing it. I have to wait a week between sessions, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. Even if it's just an hour at a time. Just an hour at a time.
Thanks. I do feel a bit better. I think I'm gonna call it a night, though.
Sleep well, Miho. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm sure she can tell me. I'm sure she can tell that I don't entirely mean when I say I feel better. Still, she does me the courtesy of pretending.
Night.
In a backwards twist on the usual, I head upstairs to my room and leave Juliet behind in the kitchen. As I climb the stairs, I get a glimpse of her still seated at the dining table, across from a cup I forgot to put away. Somehow, it feels weird to see her there alone. In my room, I wrap my blanket around myself and lie down. It's earlier than I usually go to bed, but late enough that it's pretty dark outside. I'm sure I'll be able to fall asleep. Although the day is ending for me, it's just beginning for Juliet. I wonder what she'll do with it. Maybe she's still down at the table, sitting by herself. Yeah. When I was playing this, I was only able to play for a couple hours every day, but I played every waking minute I could in this game. Yeah. I promise you, as soon as I'm done with this route, I'm gonna binge the hell out of this. Like, oh god, my appetite is building for this game. Isn't that lonely? Then again, I guess she's probably used to it. I'm still new to this whole loneliness thing, but she's pretty much an expert by now. That's kind of sad when I think about it. As I'm lying there, I hear the sound of the front door opening and closing. Sitting up, I look out the window to see Juliet standing near the porch. Something flaps by my window, and I move closer to see a bat descending towards Juliet. At first, I assume it's one of her friends, the ones who hang in the corner of her study or get fed in the kitchen. But to my shock, the bat changes forms, soon becoming a tall man.
Another vampire.
Oh, another vampire. It's too dark and far away for me to see or hear anything clearly, but I can tell they're having a conversation. I'm tempted to open my window, but I'm sure the noise will catch their attention. The two of them only talk for a couple minutes, and then the other vampire turns back into a bat. I quickly lie down and pretend to be asleep as he passes by just a couple seconds later. When I sit back up and peer outside again, Juliet's nowhere to be seen. Before long, I start to get tired and crawl into the covers for real. Although I listen for the sound of the front door again, I never hear it, and eventually, I fall asleep. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, I think this is going to be a good place to end because my back is killing me. My throat is killing me. And I hurt. I just hurt in general. So, I'll try to do this next week. I don't really have a... Yeah, as per Twitter, I don't really have a schedule at the moment. But I do have a collab scheduled with Squiggly. If you heard of them, I'll retweet. Yeah. I'll make a waiting room, and my avatar is frozen. Oh no, there it goes. Yeah. I'll have a collab with Squiggly on, what was it, Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. I have a collab with them on Wednesday, so you can look forward to that. After that, though, probably gonna take it easy, honestly. Yeah, it was on. yeah, I think my last stream was Noita, and that was scuffed, and the stream before that was pretty scuffed too. Yeah, so I'm gonna probably take a couple days off after I'm done with Squiggly, but then next week I'm gonna have my birthday stream, so I'm gonna rest up plenty for that. It's gonna be a two-pronged thing, so make sure to check it out. Probably plan something on Twitter later, probably first or something, to give people a week to respond. But yeah, no, thank you for coming today. It was, I mean, I'll say it was fun, but really it hurt a lot. Like, my soul is in pain. Oh, poor Aspen. Poor Aspen. Poor Miho. Oh, God. Oh, you poor ladies. You poor ladies. I do not envy any of you. Oh, that hurts. That, it's masterful. It's masterful how much it hurt. But yeah, no, this is gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for coming by. This has been your Demon King of Heretics, Ahriman le Méchant. And I bid you all a good day, a good night, or a good afternoon, wherever you are. Bye-bye now. Very well.